Hello and welcome to another College TF review. Today we'll be taking a look at Newage H27EX Commander David. So this guy is super awesome. One of the best versions of Optimus Prime ever. Just straight off the bat, we'll take a look at the box here. Comes packaged very nicely. Get the very G1 inspired artwork across the box. And so this version is the metallic finish version, so he comes with that premium paint that's very shiny and reflective. Really looking forward to opening this guy. Please mind the scuff on the box there. So very nice artwork for all. And of course you get a very hefty instruction manual. This guy has a lot of steps. He is the definition of a mini masterpiece. As you can see, this is only half of the instruction manual, so very dense. And then he also comes with loads of accessories that we'll get into later. So first, have him in truck mode here. So that's how he comes out of the package. Taking a look at his profile, you can see very nice representation of the G1 truck mode with the trailer. I thought this metallic finish was an awesome rendition of him with the actually silver painted trailer and silver instead of the white. He was a bit more expensive than the standard 27 Commander David, but I think he's well worth the cost. Just rotate him around, you can see the different sides, you can see all the door detailing on back. We'll get into the features in just a minute. We have across the top all this rivet detailing and lots of that G1 inspired details on the side of the trailer there. And then taking a look at the front of the truck there. Bring him in for a closer look. So to separate the truck from the trailer, it's actually like a semi-permanent attachment, as you can see here. So you just have to separate his legs ever so slightly. And that leaves just enough clearance there. You can see they separated, and it's just a mushroom style peg that pegs into the trailer hitch there. And we'll just compress those back together nice and gently. And then, so we'll take a look at the trailer here quick. So it has jack stands that can come down, sort of playing he is not hauling the trailer like that. And then it also has, of course, these side jacks that come out, as with the original toy, and then they flip up. And you put this down, so they support the trailer very nicely. You don't have to have these out to support the trailer. And then take a look at the back here. It does, of course, feature opening doors, which are also detailed on the inside. And then this is a ramp, but to open it, it is definitely a bit easier to just pry the trailer open. Like that. And then we can flip the vest down. That sides come down very nicely. And then we got the ramp that deploys. And of course the trailer is loaded with details. Just roller here, fantastic version of roller. Roller has nice tire tread, so it rolls very smoothly on those pin joints. Very nicely done, very G1. But you know, now with the painted on lights and light on back. And when we bring in the accessories, there is some other things Roller can do with those. Set him off to the side for now, and then just looking at the trailer. And of course you can stand the trailer up to be like a servicing station for Prime. Doesn't quite fit in the display here, sorry about that. This is very small, just to have it zoomed in for better detail. And then taking a look at this rover here, the repair droid, is well detailed, also very G1 inspired. So you can deploy that little antenna dish here, flip it around so you can see it better. So there's the antenna dish, and then you can also, of course, deploy the arm. Lots of joints on this. Arm deploys, you can either bring it around, or you can bring it forward. That. And then, of course, the claw does open, which is really impressive for something this size. So very nicely detailed. There it is, extended up there. So, very sweet. Turn it around for a look. And then it also, the droid here does also, the repair drone has opening cockpit. So if you are able to find a spike or spark plug figure the right scale, you can of course stick them in there. So I can review here. There's not that much detail in there, but very nice touch to the trailer for sure. And then you can just see all of that sculpted in detail throughout the trailer. It's very nicely done. Both sides, and of course on the insides of the ramps and doors, and going all the way up on both sides. Lots of G1 reminiscent details, but to the next level. And then of course, the rover doesn't quite show here, but the rover it can extend all the way up to Optimus Prime as if you want to display them that way. So setting that off to the side here, take a look at Prime himself as a truck. So there is Newage Optimus Prime, this metallic finish, it's a truck. So just take a look at the front, awesome detailing throughout. We have these rivet detailing, all interspersed. The marker lights up top, very nicely done grille, and the way this transforms is absolutely insane. And this is not entirely a faux chest. You have a faux torso, or not faux torso here. This actually is his torso in robot mode at angles, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Very nicely done bumper. Metallic finish on this looks fantastic. You got that silver stripe going all across the side. You can just see, I mean, the joints are very subtle and very tiny, but you can see there are quite a lot of them packed in there. And of course, this and the trailer both have pinned-on wheels, so it rolls very freely with nice tire tread. And you can see how compact he just piles up in there. Nice smokestacks. Then there's the nice trailer hitch detail. This is his waist, you can see it there, but I don't think it's a big deal given how nicely everything else collapses. Just minus his feet do stick out a little bit past the end there. I know on some of the other third-party versions it's a little bit more compact, but I think overall they did a really nice job with the truck mode. And then another feature, which is really neat, this is kind of part of transformation, but still a fun touch, is you can open the doors. Not much of interior, but his fists almost do kind of form a seat. So that's a really, really neat feature on such a small guy. And then one more feature on the trailer before we move on to robot mode is you actually can separate these wheels and the rover here from the base. This whole blue section comes off. You can kind of see there's pins on the bottom here holding it in, and then for the wheels right here. And those come off and you can join them together to actually have like a separate roller. But for the sake of time, I won't showcase that because it is a bit of a pain to get them off. And that's not a feature that I regularly use anyways. All right, there's the base, standing up. There we go, locked into place. Keep rolling to the side, and let's get them all transformed up. We'll transform them and then we'll take a look at all his features. So to transform, this guy is packed. He is quite a bit to transform, so bear with me here. But to start, you want to separate off the fuel tank pieces on each side, rotate those inwards and down, and then we can just separate his legs. Then come to the feet here, and those unpeg from the top, rotate them down, and pull them all the way out so you can see how far they extend in there. Then we want to rotate out the heel on top here, and then rotate the whole foot around, and then come to the inside of the leg, put this fuel tank piece on the inside, and then rotate. Then we want to rotate this outside piece down and you'll see there is a very small hole on the inside of this part up top that should align with the hole, or this peg here on the side of the foot. So you just want to straighten everything so that it all tabs in. There's the tab. Just a matter of getting it all lined up here, like that. Looks very nice. And then we actually take this whole section. The reason this compresses is we take this whole section and rotate it around like that. And now you can see it all lines up very cleanly. And then with this upper part, we pull it out. And then we want to just rotate this out and then rotate the trailer hitch inside. Trailer hitch comes all the way inside like this. So now it started out here and then it goes inside. And then this whole piece is also on its own rotations, right? So that rotates around, then it all collapses over top of the wheels here. And then there is, of course, a peg here and a big slot there, and a very solid snap. And there is one leg. Do the same thing on the other side, of course. Straighten this out. Flip out heel spur here. This guy is very tiny. I'll bring in comparisons once we have him transformed. Flip in that toolbox, fuel tank thing. Then rotate this down. Snap that in like that. Oh, I think I forgot to rotate his foot around. There we go. Sorry about that. Rotate his foot around first. Make sure you do that. And then snap that in. Like I was saying, a mini masterpiece in its level of both complexity and detail. But I will say this guy is a pleasure to transform. Take the whole leg around. It's like a pretty awesome little puzzle. The epitome of a transformer, in my opinion. And for such a tiny size that he can transform in this way is incredible. All right, there are our legs all transformed. Looking pretty awesome. Then we want to rotate at the thigh here. Take those around on each side, rotate that around on each side. And then we want to detach this piece, split plate, from underneath the arms. Now I will say this part is a bit finicky because the joint is very stiff, and then we just have a tap on joint. So it does tend to come off, but it pops right back on, and then that flips down. And now the legs are all finished, and we can work on the cab section. So you want to start by kind of pulling it out like I had done there, and then we actually, this is why the doors open, is they're actually part of the transformation here. We open both doors. Again, I think that's such an awesome feature though to have truck mode. And then this whole section, whole front section, rotates up like that. And then we want to rotate these around on each side. Get them lined up. And then pull this whole grille section out. And then let's come to the arms and pull them out. They tap in very securely, so the tolerances on this are pretty incredible. And then we'll extend the arm out, and then this flap comes down to cover the inside of the arm. I'll show you what the inside of the arm looks like on the other side. Take it out on this side. So just angle these wheels down, which are on ball joints. Then untab from the inside. And so the way this tapped into the truck is there's a slot on the bottom here, and then a peg there. That's how it was attached. And then with the arm, right, you see how it overlaps the upper arm. So just unfold it here, and then so the inside of the arm was hollow so that this could fit inside, but then that's what this panel is for. It just comes down and covers the arm, which is absolutely incredible. Then with these wheels, we kind of just want to keep them out of the way for now. I like to angle them down like this. We'll get to those in a minute here. Then we want to angle the arms out. We gotta pull the head out. So to do that, we want to extend this backpack piece out And then while we're doing that, just take care of some of the parts there. I'll rotate these little tanks from outside the inside part of the arm, and then come to this piece and pop it open. That'll reveal the head, which is on its own rotation joint. And again, the large majority of these joints are all on their own pin joints. So pretty incredible engineering from Newage here. Then next step here, while we kind of have everything separated, this is a good time to rotate this piece around, and this is the faux chest. But I'll show you why that, in my opinion, is an acceptable compromise on this guy. All right, so now before we tuck this, all this will tuck underneath, but before we do that, let's rotate the arms here around on their own joint. And so these rotate around like that, both sides. Tolerances on this guy are tight, but they're very workable and really help you get the transformation. So now the arms, the shoulder joint is centered with his torso. Then we want to get all this underneath. So I recommend just pulling the arms out of the way. And then all this should slide past. Kind of bring the chest back down, and then these inside parts collapse down on each side, and then we rotate those doors inside. So pretty incredible how all that just tucks up inside like that. Then we want to take this front piece, and remember this was the grill from the truck, so that is pretty incredible, and this just rotates in front of the main windshield like that. And so you would do unfortunately get like these two sets of marker lights, but I don't think that's big of a deal. Still looks pretty good. So you'll see once we get transformed up. And now we're almost done here. So final steps are just working these wheels. So we actually want to rotate these all the way around, and you'll see there's a cavity in here into which the wheels do slide. And so let's get them rotated on both sides. We can get them in there, and it all just compresses down like that. And it snaps in really nicely, just very clean. There's a few tabs in there. And then you can see this is the center section, which has a fair amount of die cast on it. And all of that just compresses in like that. Now we want to, of course, rotate around the waist, bring its front. We're almost done here. Bring his arms down, rotate them around so that we have the side fist in front, and get these fists rotated around. Same thing on this side, rotate them around, and then rotate the fist all the way around. And then the final step here is just his backpack, which is very minor and quite cartoon accurate. So this little tab piece just rotates around and then tucks inside. And then these fuel tank pieces rotate around top here. And then all that folds down. And then this little tab just comes into his back and compresses in like so. And that's his backpack. And then here we have Prime, or David, Leader David, all transformed into his robot mode. As you can see, this guy is absolutely insane. He's got detailing all around. His paint is fantastic. Just the camera here so you can kind of see that drone up there too, just for the full look. And yeah, so let's just bring him in for an examination of some of those details a little closer. So you can see his head here. Sorry, it has to be sideways, but very well sculpted. We do get an additional faceplate that I'll showcase in a minute. And then the forearms here, we get that very nice G1 like sticker representative paint there. Very nice waist belt paints, and then of course center line looks fantastic. You got the nice silver throughout on this guy since he's the metallic finish version. And then more of that sticker reminiscent paint here on the knees. And then of course, the lights on the toes. Very nice. Just around to the back. Now we got a lot of like nice subtle sculpted in detail here. Still very clean, very cartoon style. All the silver throughout mixed in, and some more of that sculpted in detail, and you can see throughout all these little screws and pins, very solidly built figure. And he compacts absolutely amazing. You see no wheels in truck mode, or in robot mode, which I think is absolutely insane for a figure this size. So before we get into articulation, I'll just bring it in a size comparison so you can get a sense of how incredible this guy is in terms of engineering. Here is the core class Optimus Prime. And so as you can see, you know, he's, for a legend scale big figure, he's a little bit taller than the core class, but for how much engineering is packed into him, I mean, the number of steps just to transform one of these guys' legs is the same as to transform that whole core class Optimus. So really incredible. And I think the result is absolutely insane in how detailed this guy is. So real quick, let's go over some the articulation that you get with this figure. So of course the head is on a ball joint, so you can look, let's just leave him over here. It's on a ball joint, so you can rotate side to side a little bit, up and down, and then of course turn the full 360. You actually get up to a very great degree, it goes that far. So pretty neat. Then at the shoulders, we do get full 360 rotation, we get full 90 out to the sides. Then we also get this extra joint in here for somewhat for transformation purposes, but not really. It's just like kind of an extra joint that Newage incorporates. It's actually very useful if you want to get them posed to hold the matrix. You can do that. So that's a pretty neat feature. And at the elbow, of course, we get full 90-degree bend. And then at the wrist, we get a full 360 rotation. So very versatile on the arms joints, of course. Then coming to the torso region here, we do get full 360 waist swivel with no impedance to that swivel at all. All these joints, it's a very clean figure, cleans up very well. And then of course we do get ab crunch to almost 90 degrees there. So that's quite impressive. Then down, coming to the legs here, we do get full, if we just lift this flap out of the way, we do get kick all the way up past 90 there, which is really impressive. What's really nice on this guy is instead of having one big front plate, he actually has the skirt actually separates it. So you can kick forwards all the way to 90, and then he does have a full back plate, but that kicks back also all the way to 90, just about. Actually, no, not quite. We do have a little bit of an impedance there on the inside. So, but that's not a big deal. It still kicks back pretty far. And then the knees, we get perfect 90-degree bend there. And then of course we do also get rotation here at the upper thigh, which is part of transformation, but then also of course very useful for posing. And then at the feet, we do get a ball joint, so very good side to side movement. You can't go this way too much, but you can angle inside a lot, which is the main necessity. And then you actually do get up and down with this guy too. So absolutely incredible amount of articulation apparent, especially in comparison to the Kingdom Core Class Optimus Prime, who doesn't even have ankle rockers. So very, very impressive in terms of articulation for this figure. Then another, of course, very important feature to this guy, the reason he has a fake chest is to conceal his matrix of leadership. Just opens up there, and you can actually remove this. So I'm not going to do that for the sake of time, because it is quite tiny, but very nice feature there. And then let's bring in some of his accessories. So we get this whole bag of accessories to come with him. Dump them all out here. Right a few. So first, take a look at the key ones, that being his gun. I think this looks fantastic, very G1 inspired. Lots of nice built-in detail, and even that paint there. I think the paint applications on these 30-party figures are insane, the amount of paint they pack in. So there's him with his gun. Blast down some Decepticons very well. However, like. And then you do, of course, get his axe, Energon axe. Looks very, very nice. And I'll showcase that in a minute. So the way this works is we also get lots of extra fingers, so you can have him pointing, or you can have him his hands splayed out, and these are mainly for the Matrix. You actually get an extra wrist joint in there, which I can showcase as well. And then we do get an extra face plate here. So for the axe and all the other hands, you do is you just unplug this and then attach the axe into that peg. Seats very firmly. Now we have him wielding his axe, which I think is a very neat look, very, very nice. And then if you wanted to use any of the other hands, same idea, just come in and peg them into the port. And then this one could be used to open for the Matrix of Leadership. So I just open his doors here. It actually has the extra wrist joint, so you can hold open the door, which is a pretty sick feature. And then here you can see how that extra joint is being incorporated in order for it to pull off that look. Pretty sweet deal there. Now to showcase some of Roller's extra features. Remove Optimus's gun, so this will be important. Bring in Roller in here, remove all of those extra accessories out of the way. Oh, and then for the extra faceplate, this one does just, this current one just pops off, and you could put this one on. I think it's supposed to be Megatron or Starscream or something. That's not that big of a feature for me, so I won't showcase it here. So Roller, this whole back section actually does rotate around, and so you rotate it once, and this actually reveals there's a peg on his back. We can attach Optimus's gun up top there, and Roller can roll around, blast some Decepticons with that gun, or we can actually rotate it all the way around up top, and this is the trailer hitch for the trailer. So bringing in the trailer here, just collapse carriage run. Side. And then so this ramp also is a separate feature. It can't actually collapse all the way down if you want it to be smooth. But, and then so since the way these doors tab is there's actually a little lip on this piece and a groove on this one, so you actually want them open when you assemble the trailer. You close it back together. There's 3 tabs that align. Just snap those all in, and then for the doors, of course, I'm gonna close this one first, and that one snaps very securely. Fold up these jacks, they tuck underneath, and then Roller, just put the peg in there, and Roller can drive the trailer around. And pretty neat feature there. It's very secure, works very well, everything rolls perfectly, especially given that this review station is on a hard surface and this is just paper, so it rolls no problem. That being said, that is the Newage H27EX. Again, this is the metallic finish, Optimus Prime. So with this version, you get that extra shiny finish and a more premium die-cast feel, I think, in my opinion. But there is also, of course, die-cast scattered throughout, which I didn't really showcase. Like, his thighs have die-cast in them. He has lots of die-cast inside his chest section here. You can see some of it sticking out there on some of those joints. So the die-cast is placed very well so that he can balance exceptionally well, and you can pose him in quite dynamic ways. So very well-made figure for sure. I mean, he can pull off just about any stance, which is really impressive. From Newage, very high quality, highly recommend him. It's quite pricey for his size, of course, ranging usually around the $125 to $150 mark. So if you can find him, highly recommend him. Definitely worth getting. Getting this over the standard H27 David is a personal preference based on whether you want the more G1 cartoon accurate look or you want the more masterpiece-esque finish with that silver instead of white, essentially. And then overall, with regards to paint, I have not noticed really any wear on this paint. It is very solid. It looks really great all around. I think it's definitely, it holds up very well. A very solid figure, very well made plastic, very solid construction all around. Highly recommend them. Even on these fingers, this is very, very strong. Not likely to break, not brittle at all. So highly recommend this figure. Definitely check it out. H27EX Commander David by Newage. Thank you for listening. If you like this review, please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more Newage reviews to come. Thank you.